Hi there, Colleen Sabakbar, gerontologist and owner of Trinity Advocacy Group, talking with you today about hoarding disorder. I wanted to talk with you about this topic because I get a lot of questions about it and I think it's very misunderstood. And you know me, I love to tackle the misunderstood topics. And this one's near and dear to my heart because I love the perspective that a person with true hoarding disorder has and the lens that they look through. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful perspective. So I'm going to share that with you. I want you first to just imagine for yourself the most precious item you have. It's got to be an item, can't be a person. So don't think about your dog or your loved one. Think about whatever that item is. And I want you to think about, why is that so precious to you? What is the emotion that is evoked when you have that precious item, you're looking at it? Well, what does it signify? I bring that up because when someone has true hoarding disorder, everything around them has the same value that you place on that maybe one or two or three items that are precious and valuable to you. And you might think, well, that's crazy, but it's not to that person. It's very real. And so when they have that receipt from 1984, what a burger cost from Burger King, that to them is precious. It's precious information. They want to hold on to it to help. Someday somebody might have cause to be able to say, you know what, I wonder what a burger cost from Burger King back in 1984. And holy smokes, look, I've got the answer right here. So it is a beautiful perspective in this throwaway world that people with hoarding disorder covet everything they have. They value everything. How great is that? Right? So many of us have so much. And do you really value all of it? But the person with hoarding disorder values each and every piece. It's deeply meaningful. And you might say, well, Colleen, how is that possible? How can they really value everything? And I'll tell you, I don't pretend to understand it. What I can talk to you about is that the research on this shows that most people who experience hoarding disorder, who have truly have hoarding disorder, are people who experienced early life trauma. And so one of the shows out there called Hoarders, and by the way, please don't call people with hoarding disorder a hoarder. She's a hoarder. Oh, he's a hoarder. That's terribly insulting, and it doesn't really give the credit to this very complex disease. Anyhow, so the show Hoarders actually sort of exploited these folks. And I don't mean to use alarming language, but what I want you to know is the very worst thing you can do is to go into somebody's home who has a true hoarding disorder and clean out the hoard. Oh, Mom, this is going to be great. Everything's going to have a place, and everything's going to be in its place, and it's going to be clean and organized, and we won't hear from the landlord, and you're not going to get any more fines from the village, or, your friends can finally come over. This is going to be great. For you, maybe, but not for your loved one who has true hoarding disorder. I'll tell you why. You, by taking away everything of comfort, just because you don't see value in it doesn't change the value for that person. And when you remove all of those things, you've just re-traumatized your loved one. And I know you don't want to do that. So how do you help them? There are three ways that you can help someone with hoarding disorder. One is get a diagnosis, and that diagnosis comes from a medical professional, psychiatrist, or an MD who specializes in that. The next thing you can do is you must get that person into talk therapy. Talk therapy along with a medical diagnosis and hopefully medication as well. The research shows that medications, specifically SSRIs, that treat conditions like obsessive compulsive disorder have promising results in people with hoarding disorder. And then the third thing that you want to do is educate yourself. really, truly, and your loved one about this thing called hoarding disorder. It's very misunderstood. If we can be helpful to you in connecting you with resources or in further supporting you at all and your loved one, or you yourself, if you struggle with hoarding disorder and you want the help, please call us at 331 901 5945. And we'd be happy to connect you with those resources and be that guide and coach you through it. Thank you so much for listening.